If you ask an image generation program to illustrate a successful CEO, it will likely return the image of a white man, not a woman. But why? Artificial intelligence, like any other technology, is not perfect. It can reproduce biases and perpetuate stereotypes. These can have consequences on how we perceive the world and promote situations of injustice and inequality. Therefore, we must be aware that these biases exist and take them into account when using artificial intelligence. But what are biases? Well, not all our decisions are as rational as we believe. People have cognitive biases, meaning we can be misguided in our thinking if instead of seeing things objectively, we base our views on our past experiences or feelings. This can also be influenced by sexist, racist, or classist views. For example, someone might automatically have more confidence in a white man for a finance position without realizing that this good impression simply comes from seeing that type of person in that role most commonly. This perception is influenced by race and gender biases, not because that person has objective advantages. These biases and prejudices can lead to unfair situations because, even without realizing it, more weight is given for or against something, someone, or a group of people. Now, how can people's personal opinions, biases, or prejudices influence AI? Mainly in two ways: through the development of algorithms and AI models, and through training data. Behind all AI systems are real people, the developers. They might, perhaps unintentionally, incorporate their own biases into their models, affecting the outputs these models generate. For example, the bias that leads to greater trust in a white man for a finance position could end up reflected in a recruitment algorithm if this is trained with historical data favoring that profile, perpetuating this bias in AI decisions. Additionally, if the data used to train AI is not sufficiently diverse or representative, it can cause these models to perpetuate the views of a certain group of people while excluding minorities or underrepresented groups. For example, women from lower-income countries are underrepresented in databases sourced from the internet, as only 20% of them have access to the web. This is a real and current problem. A study by the Berkeley Haas Center for Equity, Gender, and Leadership analyzed 133 AI systems and found that 44% of them exhibit gender bias and 25% show both gender and racial biases. Let's look at some examples. Although AI is helping to speed up parts of recruitment processes, such as CV screening and filtering, automation can also lead to decisions that exclude certain profiles and create gender inequality. This happened with Amazon's recruitment tool, withdrawn in 2018. Its gender bias penalized CVs that included the word woman or the names of women's universities. In the United States, the use of AI in healthcare and law enforcement has reflected deep inequalities between white and black population. In 2019, a study revealed that the algorithm used to predict healthcare needs contained biases against black patients. It was based on the healthcare spending of over 100 million people. Black people have historically had less access to the medical system and therefore lower healthcare spending. The algorithm resulted in black patients needing to be much sicker before the system would assign them additional care. In Canada, researchers discovered that an algorithm designed to detect anomalies in chest X-rays was less accurate with Hispanic women. A similar issue arises with facial recognition technologies that use AI to identify people. These have faced multiple criticisms for being primarily trained on white male faces, leading to errors. they mislabel more Black people as criminals or women of color as men. This was demonstrated by Joy Buolamwini, a scientist and founder of the Algorithmic Justice League. She discovered that some facial analysis software could only detect her dark skin if she covered it with a white mask. Another case, AI detectors used in classrooms to determine if students are using ChatGPT to do their assignments. A study by the Stanford University revealed that these detectors have biases against non-native English speakers. The tools incorrectly label more than half of the essays written by Chinese students in English. On the other hand, all American students' essays were labeled correctly. These are just a few examples, but there are many more. That's why it's important to keep these 3 key points in mind. The biases present in AI systems are inherited from the biases of the developers and training data. These biases are primarily gender and racial, and they can lead to discrimination and injustice. And finally, it's crucial to verify and question everything that an AI system produces, and to build fair and equitable AI projects to combat their effects.